Hello everyone, how are you? My name is Tej and I bring to you stories and tales from all over the world. And today I have a nice interesting tale for you. So are you interested? Let's get into the tale then. Once upon a time, long ago, in a town at the edge of the forest, lived a little girl named Red. She always wore a hood and a cape, and that is why the whole town called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Red decided to visit her grandmother who lived on the other side of the forest. Red's mother baked some hot buns and cakes and packed them in a nice little basket. "Take them to your grandmother, will you, Red?" said the mother. "Oh yes, mother, I will. They smell so good. Yes, they smell lovely indeed, Red. But don't you eat it on the way. These belong to your grandmother. Also, remember, once you are in the forest, walk straight ahead. Do not stop anywhere till you reach Granny's house. And do not talk to strangers on the way. Do you understand, Red? A forest can be a very dangerous place." "Oh yes, mother, I hear you. Straight to Granny, no stopping in the forest, no talking to strangers. I'm a big girl now," said Red. And so, with the basket in her hand, Little Red Riding Hood pranced off to meet her grandmother. Now it was the springtime and the forest was in the merriest of moods. The birds were singing, the squirrels were running around, and the sun was smiling gently all over the land. The flowers had bloomed and making the whole place vibrant and colorful. As Red walked along, she was tempted to pick some of these beautiful flowers for her granny. But she was reminded of her mother's instruction to not stop anywhere. However, unknown to Red, two evil eyes were following her through the bushes. And these eyes belonged to the big, bad wolf. "What a lovely, tasty-looking girl," thought the wolf. "And that basket smells lovely." And so the wolf came out of the bushes. Red was scared. She turned around and tried to change her route. But the wolf said, There, little girl, no need to be afraid. I was just passing by, and I thought I'll say hello to you. Say, that basket smells lovely. What is in it?" And forgetting her mother's advice, Red started speaking to the wolf. "Oh, hello, Mr. Wolf. This basket contains buns and cakes for my granny who lives on the other side of the forest." "A granny too?" thought the wolf. "What a delightful dinner it'll make. Why don't I eat them both?" "Wonderful," said the wolf. "I'm quite aware of that part of the forest. Say, does your granny live in the orange house?" "No," said Red. "She lives in the lovely greenhouse besides the apple tree." Oh yes, the greenhouse. I know the greenhouse. Maybe next time I'm in those areas, I'll meet your grandmother and say what a lovely granddaughter she has. Meanwhile, the forest is in full blooms. Why don't you collect some flowers and pick them up for your grandmother?" "Oh, I was thinking about doing the same, Mr. Wolf," said Red. "What beautiful flowers indeed." And Red stopped to pick some flowers. The wolf bid her goodbye and walked away. But he was up to no good. He took a shortcut he knew, made straight to the apple tree, and then knocked on the door of the greenhouse, pretending to be Red. And when the poor granny opened the door, the wolf bounced in, gagged the grandmother, and locked her into the cupboard. Then it put on Granny's gown, nightcap, glasses, and then waited at the bed for Red to arrive. "Oh, what a feast I shall have! A granny, a juicy little girl, buns and cakes, thought the wolf. After collecting a nice bunch of red and yellow flowers, Little Red Riding Hood now reached her granny's house. It was a lovely green house with brown doors and brown windows reminding you of a chocolate. Unaware of the danger, she knocked at the door. "Granny, Granny, let me in. It's me, your little Red Riding Hood, and I bring you buns and cakes from Mom." "Come in, my dear. The door is open," said the wolf, trying to imitate the grandmother. And Red walked right in. "Oh, Granny, where are you? Why are you still in the bed?" "I'm just a little tired, Red," said the wolf. "Come sit beside me, dear child, won't you?" And Red went to the bed and sat beside the wolf. But suddenly, what does she see? "Oh, Granny, why do your eyes look so big?" "That is to see you better, child," said the wolf. "But Granny, how did your ears grow so big?" "Oh, that is to hear your lovely little voice," said the wolf. "Oh, Granny, but what about your teeth? They are so big and sharp." "Oh, but don't worry, child, that is to eat you." And the wolf jumped and pounced Red. He was about to hit Red when suddenly a blow was struck on his head and knocked the wolf unconscious. Luckily for Red and the grandmother, a woodcutter was passing by and he happened to see the wolf from the open window. So he immediately jumped into the window and knocked the wolf unconscious. He then gagged and tied the wolf up, and with Red's help, freed the poor, frightened grandmother from the cupboard. After this, the grandmother and Red thanked the woodcutter profusely, and Red also told him about what had happened when she met the wolf in the jungle. "I will now put this wolf in a cage so that it doesn't cause more trouble in the jungle," said the woodcutter. "But I hope, little Red Riding Hood, that you have learnt your lesson here, and you will always listen to your mother's instructions, won't you?" "Oh yes, Mr. Woodcutter, I have learnt my lesson," said Red. "I will always obey my mother and never talk to strangers in the forests." And with this, we come to the end of our story as well. I hope you have a wonderful time and hope you have learnt your lesson too. The moral of the story is, listen to your mother and never talk to strangers. So I will take a leave now and be back with another story in a few days. Till then, ta-ta, goodbye.